Hockey town, going down to hockey town, whoa, whoa. Hockey town, take me down to hockey town, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hello, hockey fans. The Minnesota Hockey Connection is on the air. We're on the air for the next half hour. I'm Kenny Gallagher along with Jerry Burrow. And Jerry, we're going to talk hockey, Minnesota hockey, from the pros to the amateurs and everything in between. Of course, we've got college hockey. The NCAA finals are among us, and the UMD Bulldogs pulled into Worcester, Massachusetts, and played a fantastic game against Providence, last year's champions. And that game went to overtime, and in that final, what was it? Let's see, overtime, 57 seconds in, Carson Kuhlman, Willie Raskob, and Tony Cameronesi pulled off one of the greatest plays I've seen in college hockey.
I saw the end of the play, but you saw the whole play develop.
Yeah, well, the video is out there. Go look up the video online,
Okay.
and if you watch the play, Carson Kuhlman goes to the boards, the puck goes to the boards, and Carson Kuhlman goes over there, and the puck squirts out, so you've got two Providence players going after the puck, and out of nowhere comes Tony Cameronesi, grabs the puck, and if you freeze the frame at that moment, you see five Providence players. One of UMD's players falls down, and so for him to get the puck, it was just sheer hustle. He gets the puck, he immediately passes over to Willie Raskob, who's got time to make a pass to Carmen Kuhlman, who had come off the boards, gone to the net,
Right.
textbook fashion,
Right.
puts his stick down,
Right.
and there's the pass from Willie Raskob to win that game in overtime. And I got to tell you, there must have been a lot of alum watching that game that remembered when Providence beat the Bulldogs back in the 80s.
Really?
Well, you know, I'm sure that there was a few that were watching.
I wasn't around in the 80s. I was out
Well-
in California. So what happened in the 80s?
Well, I think it was the first time the Bulldogs went to an NCAA playoff.
Okay.
And Providence beat them. And after that, you know, then we had the years of, 83, 84, the loss to Bowling Green. But we had those
Right.
great teams, those great Bulldog teams that's kind of set the standard, if you will, set the pace. You know, obviously it was several years later, many years later, until 2011 when they won that championship. But, hey, the Bulldogs played well, 56 shots on goal, 37 for Providence. You know, you look at that, and 2 goals on 56 shots, and then the next night they got to play Boston College. And it seems like this team has kind of been snake-bitten offensively.
Yeah.
They've got the effort.
Especially when they play back there in that arena against Boston College.
And, you know, Boston College jumps out to a quick 3-0
Right.
lead, but UMD battled back 3-2. And, boy, I don't know what it is, what you put your finger on, but this team really worked hard all
Yeah.
season long.
Right. I mean, they always put the shots on, but they just had a problem finishing the pucks a lot of games. And I tell you what, if they would have done 10% of their shots go in, they would be down in Tampa.
You know, I can look back on 2 games that the Bulldogs played that I'll always remember. This 2-1 Providence game, the way they won that, I'm going to remember this for a long time. And then there was a game back in the days of who was the goaltender from Comox, British Columbia, and they were facing the number 1 team in the nation at the time, North Dakota, I believe, and they had a 1-0 lead with seconds to go in the game. And North Dakota tied the game, and then with like 0.9 seconds or a second to go, they ended up winning the game. And these two games are going to stand out to me. But
Well, there's going to be 2 NCHC teams down there, North Dakota and Denver. Those are the 2 teams. I thought UMD and St. Cloud State would be the 2 teams.
Yeah,
It's just the opposite, but we got 2 teams in there,
Yeah.
so that's good for the NCHC.
and that goalie I'm thinking of, by the way, Brant Nicklin.
Yeah, okay,
And,
yeah.
But anyways, the Bulldogs, you know, they had a good finish. That game against Boston College, I didn't get to see. I heard that they kind of took it to them, but was that the case?
I thought they outplayed them.
Yeah.
It's just that Boston College had that, I don't know, they got good luck in that arena where things go right for them, and that's what happened, Saturday night, where
Yeah.
everything went right for them.
Now, Boston College, the women lost to the Minnesota Gophers in the national championship, maybe the men thought we're not going to lose to this Minnesota Duluth team.
Did you know they put the game on CBS on prime time on Sunday? That Gopher Boston College ladies game.
Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Why
don't they put it live?
I put a lot of money. Oh, now you're talking the women's game.
Yeah,
Thank you. We're sitting around at Easter, and here's this Gopher championship game, and I thought, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, this game was last week.
Yeah.
What in the world?
No one has it live. No one. It's not even. I don't think you can pick it up on radio either.
Well, you see, they got to cover NCAA women's basketball, softball, and badminton.
But they have 100 ESPNs.
This contract has to change. ESPN needs to either get their act together, or the NCAA needs to look at what they're doing and find a channel or channels that will carry this. This is really sad. It's sad that college hockey just doesn't get the coverage that they deserve. And but getting back to this, the way the NCAA is structured, there was a game. We're talking Elite Eight at XL Energy Center, and it looked like there was 200 fans in the stand.
Well, I was there on Saturday.
No, this was last night, I think.
Yeah, but I was there Saturday,
live.
I mean, in the stadium, and they said some number like over 5,000 or something. But there was 3,000 there at the most.
Yeah.
And then yesterday they said their number was 2,700, and someone said to me they thought it was more like 1,000 in person.
This is silly what they're doing, setting up these neutral sites.
Right.
Let the teams that have the better record host the game.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Plus, there's certain stadiums like you can play. Like last year, they had it out in Fargo, where, of course, North Dakota travels. That was sold out before you even know it because North Dakota played there.
Yeah.
So you get things like that.
Well, the fact that they scheduled this on Easter, you've got NCAA basketball, and let's face it,
that hurts a lot. That hurts.
And it just doesn't make any sense why they are doing this. But this is what
it is.
And I'm going to tell you, I am not a fan of these games being played in Tampa. This is the second season Tampa's had it. There is not even a Division I hockey school in Florida.
No, and Wisconsin's sponsoring it.
I don't know. The NCAA's got to get their act together because this is all just the silliest thing I've ever seen. It just makes no sense.
But Frozen Four goes to Chicago next year and then back to St. Paul, where they've always had some of the best tournaments ever is in St. Paul.
Well, I agree, but they need to host these games at least in stadiums where there's Division I hockey.
Right.
There's not, I don't know. It's very, very upsetting.
They got
confusing.
There's concerns what's going on in college hockey.
I think that's a big reason why there isn't such a you don't hear of advancement in the NCAA men's hockey tournament, and then we get this season. And it's just total failure up and down. Sadly, we had the WCHA referee that passed away.
Yeah, Butch.
Did you know Butch?
I didn't know him personally, no.
Okay.
I've seen him ref in that, but that's about as far as
we
I
can
got.
only, I haven't seen any footage.
But I talked to
video.
Commissioner and the head of officials, Greg Shepard, and Billy Robinson on Saturday about that. I guess he died just within 24 hours of that.
He was out skating prior to the start of the game.
Right, pre-game.
Caught an edge.
Right, they always take their helmet off a lot.
Hit his head.
Yep.
And basically never
accident.
Never recovered.
Just a freak accident.
Well, it is. And it's just so sad for him, for his family. He was the first American Indian to a referee in college hockey. His jersey, he's got memorabilia at the Hockey Hall of Fame, I understand.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Butch Mosanu?
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I don't either.
But our thoughts and prayers out to the family. Everyone says he was a great guy and he was funny and he'd talk to anyone on the ice.
Yeah.
So
I see you've got a note there, Dan Stauber. They found a replacement?
Yeah, I think Dan's going to be the man over there in Proctor.
Dan Stauber?
Yeah.
Proctor Rails?
Yes. He's a teacher out there now. That's what I'm hearing.
Really?
Yep, and they're going to confirm it this week, I think.
Well, who's the coach there now? Is it
Rodberg is gone.
Okay, so
Yeah, Steve Robberg, who played at Proctor, was the coach there for the last.
are you pretty confident that this is Stauber's job in Proctor?
Yes, yes,
That's pretty big for that school.
right. Maybe like Hermantown has a lot of Proctor kids over here. Like the Northland All Area Player of the Year, he's a Proctor boy, So maybe they can keep some of their players, but they got to do something with that rink up there. It's not the best rink.
Oh, so that is an issue.
They always.
I don't know that I've ever been to that.
They
Proctor
always
game.
thought merging with Hermantown and Proctor and building one rink for both schools.
Yeah.
That would have been smart, I thought.
Yeah.
Because then they both can use it and just schedule their schedule where they're different days.
Well, I don't think there's too many people in Proctor that would go for that, but
And same as Hermantown.
yeah,
They have something.
Right. Other coaching news: Trent Klatt has left the program at Grand Rapids,
Right.
and we learned the Duluth News Tribune, Louis St. George at least, reported that Klatt said in a statement, "It has become clear to me that I do not have the time needed to do both to the level that is required, both being coaching the Grand Rapids boys team and being a scout for the NHL's New York Islanders." However, Klatt made the
Right.
comment to the Minneapolis Tribune, "Unless they fire me, I plan on being here."
Right. There's something else going on there. There was a lot of problems with some of the student athletes at the end of the year there. And so I think that's part of it.
Well, Grand Rapids is going to have to retool, regroup, get a new head coach, and
Yep,
move
that'll be
forward.
3 in 3 years.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Are there any leading candidates? What was it,
I-
John Rothstein that he replaced, I believe, that Klatt replaced?
Right. Well, one of the assistants, Chris Mariucci. He's an assistant
Interesting.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
He would be, if he likes the job, that'd be a good one.
Huh.
Yeah.
Obie Baker winner when he was with UMD?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nooch.
Talking about interesting, what do you think of the Wisconsin Badgers getting Tony Granada?
Mike Eaves was let go, 14 seasons, I think, and Tony Granato now seems to be the front runner. I don't know if they've made it official, but I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, and it sounds like his brother, is it Donnie Granada, and
Yeah.
who coached over there in Ann Arbor for the development team a few years back, and plus Mark Osiki is from Burnsville, and he coached over in Ohio State.
Well, I don't know what happened in Wisconsin, but the Badgers have been really bad the last 2 years.
That's an understatement.
It is, and I don't know if moving to the Big Ten has something to do with this. We now learn that Notre Dame will be joining the Big Ten. Jerry, can you make sense of this stuff to me?
No.
Notre Dame is such a floundering school. They play in Hockey East.
They want to go anywhere where they want. That's just not right to me. You got to go to a conference where you play all the sports. I'm sorry. They can pick, I want to be in this conference. I want to be independent in football. I want Big East, but Big East doesn't like them now.
Yeah.
Because they try to control that league.
I always thought from the beginning when the NCHC, I thought, well, Notre Dame will be in this league.
Yeah, I thought
They're almost like a good fit for the NCHC. They don't belong in the Big Ten. They're not a Big Ten school.
Right. Yeah.
This is bizarre.
So 2 years from now, they'll be there.
In the NCHC.
No, Big Ten.
Oh, they'll be-
2017. 2017. They're coming in.
So what'd that be, 13, 14 schools in?
Well, they only have
In the
6,
Big
right?
Ten?
Well, that's just for hockey.
I understand, but
Well, sometimes you see double on the ice. Concussions.
I don't know. The NCAA hockey it's getting silly. It's getting silly. But in the meantime, Quinnipiac will play Boston College on April 7th in the opening game, the semifinal game.
And what time is that?
That's at 4 o'clock.
Is that Eastern time? Or?
That's our time.
Our time,
4
okay.
o'clock our time, ESPN2.
Okay.
And then North Dakota will face Denver at Amalie Arena in Tampa at 7:30 our time, ESPN2.
Boy, that's got. You know what they have to do? That first game, after the game, they got to kick everyone out. Because the tickets are for each game now.
Yeah.
Again, they went back to that way.
And this is sudden death. These games don't.
I know,
this
but
game
I'm
goes
saying
to overtime.
That's you just can't do it in 10 minutes. That stuff,
Oh, I don't know why this is so hard to do, but the championship game will be April 9th. at Amalie Arena, whatever that is, in Tampa.
Yeah, they changed that name.
At 7 o'clock on ESPN, and I don't know.
Yeah.
St. Norbert made it to the Division III championship game to take on Wisconsin Stevens Point. But in order to get to that championship game, they had to beat Massachusetts
Looks
Boston
like a football score.
8-7. 51 shots on goal for St. Norbert.
51. Oh.
Massachusetts Boston jumped out to a 3-0 lead.
Mass boss.
Goalie Tony
never heard of them.
Kuava, 3 saves and 2 goals. They yanked him for TJ Black, who came in and got the win, but he gave up 5 goals. And St. Norbert, 8-7 win in double overtime to advance to the championship game in Division III, and Wisconsin Stevens Point was just too much for the Green Knights. Wisconsin Stevens Point, their 3rd national championship game in 3 years, they win Division III, and he had 2 Minnesota boys on that roster from Crookston.
Hey, I wonder why Stevens Point has been so good in hockey. Is it coaching, or is it? I wonder if they're recruiting good. Or
Their
what?
coach is a Canadian. He's a Canadian native.
Because that name never, Stephen Point's never really came up before.
Well, they got 2 Minnesota boys on the roster.
Oh, that's it. Uh-huh.
That's it.
Well, Quinnipiac has 4 Minnesota kids, and they're key players for the team. So,
Okay.
Yeah. So.
You know, I wish I could just have this glowing, overflowing compliments for this NCAA hockey, but they got to fix it. It's broken. It really is. They've got to get these regionals nailed down where, you can't have these neutral sites. They don't work.
And talking about Minnesota kids, Denver beat Ferris State. It was a close game, and then they took over at the end there. I think they won, 6-3? What was that score? Ferris State and Denver.
6-3.
Okay. But they had this Elk River kid, freshman, Blake Hillman, and he's a defenseman. He's got 1 goal all season. He scores 2 goals and 2 assists in this weekend.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. There's only 2 Minnesota kids on the team. And
For Denver.
Yeah. And he helped that team
Awesome.
to the Frozen Four.
That's great. Well, do we have a favorite, Quinnipiac and Boston College? I think Boston College is kind of on a roll here. Quinnipiac came into the tournament with 29 wins. Boston College came in with 26.
I'll tell you what, that North Dakota Denver, the winner of that game is going to be a tough team. But man, I think Quinnipiac is ready.
Okay.
Because they've been up there on top, and they held that spot most of the year.
They did.
So, they're a consistent team.
Yeah.
So I see them continuing their ways. So.
But is North Dakota fine-tuned and ready to do this and jump on this championship?
The thing
First-year head coach, too.
Yep. North Dakota, their biggest problem, I don't think they're as deep as some people think they are. That first line is one of the best in the nation in college hockey, but that 3rd and 4th line, I don't think they get too much scoring out of it. But then there's a lot of college teams that way.
So we'll wait to see the outcome in that. And again, the semifinals, April 7th, and then the championship game, April 9th. The Minnesota Wild defeated the Los Angeles Kings 2-1 last Tuesday at XL Energy Center, a game they really had to win. And it was the NHL debut for former St. Cloud State Husky Nick Dowd of the LA Kings. 25-year-old, is a native of Alabama.
Alabama.
He was a
Hockey hotbed.
Yeah, he was a 7th round pick of the Kings in the 2009 draft, and but the Wild came out on top in that game. And then Zach Parise had a huge game against Calgary, a 6-2 win. Zach had the hat trick that night, and then the game that they almost had to win. Every game now has kind of been these must-win situations.
Now they got this big lead because of this.
Well, they went into Colorado on Saturday, needing, 2 points ahead of Colorado, or maybe 3?
There were 3 ahead.
And they beat Colorado 4-0. Zach Parise, 2 goals. Devin Dubnyk, 29 saves. 5th win in a row for Minnesota, who extend their points lead by 5 points over Colorado. Minnesota will play Chicago on Tuesday at XL Energy Center. It's looking good for the Wild.
Yeah, I think they should be able to get in now. They lose out now, There's going to be a lot of people not happy.
Well, the schedule is kind of in their favor because they got a
Right.
lot of
Oh,
home
yeah.
games. Let's take a look here. The Wild will play Chicago tonight. Or, I'm sorry, Tuesday night. They'll host them, and then Thursday they host Ottawa, and then
Right.
they go
to Detroit.
on Friday for a 6:30 game, and then to Winnipeg 6 p.m. on the 3rd of April, and then back home for the final two games, April 5th against San Jose and April 9th against Calgary.
A lot easier. Colorado has Washington, St. Louis, Nashville, Dallas, Anaheim, all playoff teams. They're all going to make it, so they got a tougher schedule. Plus, they got one extra game than Minnesota, but they got to make up 5 points, and I don't think they're going to do it.
So at this point, Minnesota, there's no chance of them being higher than 8th in the playoffs. They'll be that 8th seed, if you will. Who would be their opponent?
Well, that's not true. They could. They have a possibility, I think, to catch Nashville still.
Really?
There's a small possibility.
All right. Well, let's assume they end up
Yeah,
in 8th.
most likely they're going to.
Will their opponent be Dallas?
And right now, it looks like it.
Yeah.
Dallas, St. Louis. Right now, the Kings. LA Kings.
Yeah. But more than likely Dallas or St. Louis.
Right. And last year, remember, we beat St. Louis.
St. Louis, and then played Chicago and lost to them
We
again.
We don't do good in Chicago in the playoffs.
I know.
The regular season, we do good.
Torch, you just got to tell them, guys, get through this regular season game, and then we'll
call this a regular season
yeah,
game.
just call it a regular season game because they do well against Chicago in the regular season.
Yeah.
But Wild are playing well.
But what about Parisi? What the heck? He gets 2 goals like in 25 games, someone said. Now he gets 5 in 2 games. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, that happens, and usually it doesn't happen that often to people that are pegged as goal scorers. I don't know that Ovechkin has those kind of dry spells, or Patrick Kane.
Right.
Maybe they do. We don't pay much attention
No,
to
not
those
like
two
that.
players.
Not like
But
that.
it's good that Zach is doing it, and he's coming
Right.
around now, and it builds his confidence going
Yeah,
forward.
plus a lot of fans are laying off him now. There are a lot of fans that are getting on his case, getting paid that much and not bringing in anything.
Well, the Wild are playing good at the right time.
Yeah,
And,
that's what you gotta.
They've got, what is it again? It's going to
And
be
I
2, 3, 4 home games out of the next 6 games.
And Dubnyk is playing pretty good, I think.
Yeah, he played well in Colorado.
And Devin's doing a good job right now.
Yeah.
But I saw the LA Kings game. I was down there for that game. But that team, man, they control the possession of the puck. Big guys, and that's a good team right now. And I don't know how they beat them that night, but they did. Somehow they found a way to win. But I thought LA was dominating the whole game. But I hope they don't get a team like that in the first round.
What's the latest on Don Cherry? Don Cherry, analyst for Hockey Night in Canada,
Okay.
CBC, made some disparaging remarks, if you will. And he was let go of the broadcast, but the fans and the online social
Went crazy.
media.
We want Donnie.
And, I saw the comment, and I thought, no, Don Cherry didn't make an outrageous comment, did he?
This is a first. That's all he does.
Yeah, Google some.
That's why they want him.
Google some Don Cherry moments, and he's always been very outlandish.
I wonder what he said the other night.
Yeah, well, I haven't heard the latest, and
That's funny.
yeah. The Minnesota Wilderness are 33, 18, and 6. They have 72 points in the Midwest Division. They're currently in second place in the Midwest Division with just 3 games remaining
Right.
on their schedule. The
Boy.
Wilderness have 3 remaining games left in the regular season. They're all at home. The first 2 being Friday and Saturday, April 1st and 2nd, and then the last home game will be Sunday, April 10th. And that Friday night game, the first up in Cloquet will be. They're going to recognize the great seasons by the Cloquet Pee-wee AA and Cloquet Bantam AA over the weekend. The Pee-wees will be acknowledged on Friday night and the Bantams on Saturday night.
Well, good.
So
That
the
they do that.
Wilderness, 2015
Right.
NAHL
And then their
Robertson Cup
playoffs
champs.
start.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. Plus, the North American Hockey League is going to have their semis and finals down in Edina. So it's all coming to one rink, so all 4 teams will be there. And it'll be just one weekend, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I like that part too. So it's good for them. And hey, good luck in a second season going for another championship.
Say, getting back to this NCAA men's tournament and some of the talk that you heard, the attendance, and I know that we've had this issue in the past, but it seems to have come to a head this year. Is there a discussion, is there chatter as to how to fix it or what might change?
Boy, there's a lot of discussion. I mean, one thing is they think the Big Ten has hurt hockey a lot. Because just think in our area, when WCHA, when we had all these rivalries, Minnesota Gophers against North Dakota, I mean, we get to play twice a year.
Well, even UMD fans always look forward to that.
Bemidji and Mankato come into the league, and now these are big matchups now.
Right, strong Minnesota connection. Yeah. Even UMD always looked forward to that Wisconsin weekend with Wisconsin.
Right.
Of course, the Gophers, and now it's gone.
Yeah, it just that's one of the things. And then the other thing is that Big Ten TV contract, like the Gophers, they don't care if the fans show up or not because every ticket's sold and it's on TV and they get their money, no matter what.
What about the NCHC going and having their own network?
Well, they do have TV, but it's just not strong enough
it's
to do.
It's so spread out.
It's just too hard. Yeah. There's too much going on, and it's just too hard, I think. Where the Big Ten, they make their money, on basketball and football. But we better say our Northland Player of the Year.
Well, according to Louis St. George III and the Duluth News Tribune, they have chosen senior defenseman Wyatt Ahmet as the Prep Boys Hockey All-Area Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Could you have thought of somebody other than him if it was you making the choice?
I'd like Scotty Perinovich up in Hibbing, Junior. And I hope he comes back for his senior year. He might leave and go to juniors and USHL. But we'll see. But some of the first team is Ash Altman from Duluth East, senior, Cole Kepi from Hermantown. And then we got Mitchell Matson, third place winner at the state tournament for Class AA for Grand Rapids. And there's Scotty Perinovich. And then River Aylander, Denfield goalie.
Yeah.
We had him on our show, man.
On the
nice
first
kid.
team.
And
great.
He's I liked him.
And then wrapping up the second team again, the Duluth News Tribune's all-area boys hockey team, Alex Adams from Grand Rapids, Micah Miller from Grand Rapids, Ryan Sandlin, Hermantown, Shea Donovan from Duluth East, Lane Krenzen from Duluth Marshall, and goaltender Luke Olson. Wow, what a lineup those two teams are, huh?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, there's a lot of good kids there. A lot of good players.
Well, it's been fun. Hope you can join us next week. The Minnesota Hockey Connection, find us online, minnesotahockeyconnection.com, and on Facebook. Look for us on Facebook as well and like us there. Thank you to the staff at PACT-TV, where this program is produced, in City Hall. And Jerry, final thoughts in about 10 seconds?
Well, I'll tell you what, Frozen Four, the Wild will finish their season, and hopefully they're in the playoffs, and hope they go a little farther than they have in the last few years. And, hey, there's still a lot of hockey left.
Well, there is, and we're going to be around for at least another month here covering hockey, and we'll be back here next week to drop the puck. We'll see you then.